Hey guys, what's up, daydreamers? I know it's been a while since I uploaded, and I hope you're all doing well. And I'm back with another video, and I have another one coming out. I just don't know when that will be, but let's get on with it. So, as you can see from the title, it's a video regarding wubbzy. And I wanted to talk about not so much the show in general, but one of the lessons it had. There is an episode in season 2 titled Call of the Mild, and if you watched wubbzy as a kid, you've probably seen it. They go into the Wazambu jungle to find the unicorn, whatever it's called. It's basically their version of a unicorn that Daisy was very attached to. And there's one scene where Wubbzy is sitting in the water, and these bugs come into the frame, and he asks Walden, and Walden says, "I believe they're doodlebugs," and Daisy asks why, and that's when the bugs start aggressively flying and buzzing in front of them, making it obvious that they were about to do something. And Widget, Walden, and Daisy activate their bug nets, and Wubbzy is attacked by these bugs, and when it's over, they walk by, and Widget makes a comment saying, "So that's why they're called doodlebugs." The lesson in this episode is supposed to be about being prepared. Everyone was prepared except for Wubbzy, who refused to prepare. And I don't know if that was supposed to be funny, maybe to a toddler, but I don't see the humor in watching someone else's distress. And I'm sure a lot of people would say, well, this is just a cartoon, it's harmless, he wasn't even hurt. And normally, yes, I would agree, but the problem here is that this is supposed to be an educational program that kids are supposed to learn from. It's like SpongeBob, because SpongeBob is purely comedy and entertainment. It's not an educational program, so it's not like it's teaching children to do the things that they do. But wubbzy is an educational program where kids are supposed to learn lessons. For Widget and Walden and Daisy to just stand there and watch Wubbzy get attacked and not do anything to try to help him as he screams for help, it sends a bad message. It's a message that says helping a friend is conditional. You only get help if you earn it. It's your fault you didn't listen, so I'm going to stand here and watch you struggle because you don't deserve to be helped. That is a bad message, and that kind of a message can even be dangerous when a child decides to act on it in real life. Because Wubbzy getting attacked by doodlebugs is equivalent to a wasp attack. And in real life, we don't have harmless doodlebugs. We have yellow jackets and hornets and bees, etc. And they don't doodle, they sting. And they're venomous. And they don't sting just a few times either. They will sting repeatedly, and if you don't find shelter or help, they could sting until the victim dies. And that's something that a preschooler is not going to understand. Attacks like that can be dangerous and also fatal, especially if someone decides to just stand there and watch it happen rather than deciding to help you. An example of this is a kid telling their friend not to go near the beehive, and that kid does it anyway and ends up getting attacked. And given that Widget, Walden, and Daisy just stood there and watched Wubbzy get attacked, what do you think that friend is going to do? What kind of example are these characters setting for young children? In all likelihood, the friend would stand there and watch instead of running to an adult. Because the message in wubbzy says to them, well, you didn't listen to me, so you deserve what you're getting. I'm going to stand by, but not to help you, but to watch you struggle. Because I was right and you were wrong, and that's what matters. This is exactly the kind of message it sends. It teaches young children that being right is more important than your safety and your well-being. And it gets even worse because not only do the characters just stand there and watch Wubbzy get attacked, but they just walk away. They just walk on by. The least they could have did was lend a hand to him, help him out of the water, give him something to clean his face, or at the very least, not make a rude remark. Because the remark Widget made, so that's why they're called doodlebugs, was rude. It's mockery. Why are they teaching these young children to mock at someone else's distress? Yes, it's Wubbzy's fault. He wasn't prepared, but mockery has no place in learning, or at least it shouldn't, in learning a lesson, just because someone made a mistake. And it doesn't mean, just because someone made a mistake, it doesn't mean you have to be rude, nor does it justify standing there allowing someone to get hurt. I know Wubbzy was not physically hurt, but having your friends do that to you would definitely hurt emotionally. He's sitting in the water in a state of total shock of what just happened, and he's looking right at them, probably expected words of comfort, but they don't. They look down at him, smiling and unbothered, and they walk right past him, and the only words they do say is words of mockery and Daisy's constant nagging, saying you should always be prepared. Which was pointless because by that point, they're already in the jungle, and Wubbzy already didn't bring anything, so what was he supposed to do by that point? There was nothing he could do, so repeating that line, you should always be prepared, every single time something happens to him was pointless. And by that point, it was just nagging, and you could tell it was annoying him. They helped him out of the marsh. They shared an umbrella, her umbrella, with him. They could have saved him from the doodlebugs. If they wanted to act like real friends, they would have grabbed him out of that water and shielded him with their own bodies. It's not like they had anything to worry about, because they had their protective gear on, so they could have protected him while protecting themselves. And one thing that really pisses me off is the doodles, because the creators chose a very questionable choice. Out of all the options, they could have chosen a smiley faces, flowers, polka dots. They chose a tic-tac-toe game, and on his torso, there was a face. And it's not a smiley face, it's a sad face. A fucking sad face. After deliberately ignoring his screams for help, they don't ask him if he's okay, displays a complete disregard and lack of empathy for what he just went through, leaving him completely alone. Drawing a tic-tac-toe grid on Wubbzy's forehead is highly symbolic. By placing that on his face, the visual framing implies that his own body has been turned into a literal playground or a piece of scratch paper for others to use and mock. The green spiral on his stomach, visually, it brands him as a literal target, subconsciously reinforcing the idea to young viewers that he is a punchline meant to be targeted and hit. And the tic-tac-toe grid heavily mimics the visual shorthand for a cut wound. That's not what it is, but the fact that it looks like that, and how they can look at him and walk right by and mock him as he sits there looking like that, shocked and wet and battered looking, only adds to just how cold they really were and just how dark and inappropriate this really is for young children. Of course it looks innocent. At least for children, it has to look innocent. Because if it didn't, I don't think it would have made it on the air. But just because something looks innocent, that does not mean that it is innocent. Not to mention that they didn't have to bring him with them, or specifically Widget, as she was the one driving the Wubbmobile, so as their means of transportation, she could have told Wubbzy that you either need to be prepared, or you can't go. You can't come with us. So the fact that she let him go anyway, after she herself already pointed out how dangerous the jungle is, implying she knew the dangers that they were walking into, shows that she intentionally allowed him to be in danger, and putting someone in danger is not the way to teach someone a lesson. Or they could have canceled that whole trip altogether, because it was unnecessary, because Princess was a wild animal. She wasn't lost, she was home. They went to the jungle to take back something that didn't even belong to them. And then when they found her, they didn't even take her, making the whole trip and everything they put wubbzy through for nothing. And wubbzy's happiness at the end was also a bad example, because it teaches kids to bottle up their feelings when speaking up about it matters most, opening the door to be treated like that once again. And the next scenario could be even more dangerous, because just because nothing fatal happened this time doesn't mean it couldn't happen next time.